Alright, so I got tired of my old center block forge, which was completely terrible. It worked perfectly fine if you're just getting the blacksmithing. I've been using it for about, how many months? Like 5, 6, something like that. A good while. And it's been working fine, but I can't really do really big projects, and what I'm really wanting to do can't be quite as precise as I'm wanting to be. So today we're going to be building this coal forge. And I tried 2 different fire pots. One melted away, which was out of some rocks, and then this one out of some clay and some bricks. Worked pretty good, and it's still very hot from just using it. So today I'm going to be showing you how to build this very simply out of 100% junk that I have laying around. Works very good. I've already built let me see, this twisted fire poker thing here. It's got a fire poker on this end and a twisted raker for your coal on this end, just so we can get around and work our stuff a little bit better. And my brother's still working on a little project he is doing. It's like some type of short sword, which is very over his head, and that he probably won't turn out very well, but he's gonna try. So in today's episode I'll be showing you how to build this forge. Okay, so the first step in this process is going to be, I need some type of air system to go up to this forge. So if I have the pit on top, then I'm going to have some type of air system here, and I have drawers that I'm going to have to pull out and then cut off with an angle grinder. So I have to take those out, and then we'll go from there. So that's going to be the first step. We'll do that, and then I'll come back to the drawing board and we'll do a little bit more. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my angle grinder and cut off these 2 drawer things here, and then we'll be able to use, I might use this later on, I'm not quite sure, but we definitely need this out and the other one under it. Okay, there's one. Now I gotta get this other one to come out. This one's gonna be harder because I don't think it's coming out like the other one did. Okay, I think I have a plan for this. I've been looking at it for a second. Now what I'm gonna try to do is get in here. That, and now do this next one. Number 2. Okay, so the idea from here is going to be take these 2 drawers are out now. So what we have is, we can just erase these. This is all empty under here, so we can pipe in our air from the side. So my goal was to take the drawers, to take a drawer from one of these that we cut out from the bottom and place it up here, so we'd have a higher top to put, like, I'm not sure what I'm going to make the actual fire pot out of that it's going to be. I was thinking maybe dirt. I've seen some people do that. It's not really the best idea, but I'm just looking for something that's functional right now, just so I can start blacksmithing a little bit and then later on build a better one. Okay, so I've drilled that hole in there in the center here of the whole entire drawer and through this where I want it on here. So now what I'm going to do is change this out. Grab some screws and attach this in here, and then maybe once I drill it through I'll bend these over so it'll stay real nice and tight in there. Alright, so I'm having to do some voiceover because I figured out right whenever I started editing that my videos, almost half of them did not have audio, so I'm trying to do a little bit of voiceover here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting a hole in the drawer to be able to put the pipe through. So I have to start beating on a little bit, heating it up with a propane torch just a little bit to try to get it open to where the pipe will go through. And right here I'm showing you that it is extremely ugly and that it's not the best looking hole, but it does end up fitting the pipe through, so it does end up working pretty well. Alright, more voiceover, what do you know? So, right here, I'm just showing you that I have a little piece of bar stock that I'm going to be putting over for the hole and then drilling some holes through it so that it will be air system and that the coal, it will be holes for the air system so that the coal doesn't drop down into the air pipe. So I just screw that on with some screws, drill some holes in it, and then we go on to the next process. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this propane torch and my hammer, and I'm going to heat up these screws and bend them over so that that metal doesn't come up. Back here. Alright, so it's a new morning for me, and so I was just going to go over what I'm going to be doing today. So this fire pot on top, I'm going to try to get that done today, and I'm going to try to get this pipe here going out from the side so I can put my hairdryer or whatever I'm going to put on it to actually get the air up into the forge. I haven't got that in yet. I've only got this straight pipe here, so I'm going to try to put that in right now, and then we'll start trying to work on the fire pot. Alright, so what I'm in the process of doing right now is trying to cut a hole through this drawer, which has like a really big space in between the two walls on the inside and on the outside for some reason, so it's proving pretty difficult. So that's why I didn't turn the camera on until now, so that I can actually hopefully get me getting this done on camera. That disc is pretty mangled. But you guys see this. Alright, so that's what I'm looking at right now. I gotta try to mark that and cut that hole right there. So then I can fit that pipe up like that, and then maybe take some tape or something. Not quite sure how hot it's gonna get right there, but we'll have to figure that out later on whenever I fire it up and try to test it. Alright, so when I cut this hole for this pipe, I kind of did it in just like lines so that it would be a little bit of a vent so that maybe as much ash wouldn't get down in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some duct tape and try to get that held up there and get the air to where it will only go up through the... Alright, I cut this hole just the right size to where it's in there pretty tight so it won't budge. So now we have to start working on the firebox on the top. Alright, so right here I'm putting in some dirt just to try to build up the firebox a little bit because the drawer on top is pretty thin and the top of the cabinet is pretty thin, so I'm putting some dirt on there because dirt absorbs heat really well. Alright, so we finished the fire pot in there with what we think is clay, and now we're just going to try to even up all these sides all the way up to the bricks. The bricks surprisingly didn't go the way of the rocks and melt, so they're still intact. And actually they were closer to the fire than the rocks were, except for the rocks under. So we're just going to keep them and try to keep them as intact as long as possible. And now we got to get some more dirt because we've got to finish up this side, then we'll go get some more dirt and work on this side nearest to us. So we'll go ahead and finish this up off camera and then turn it back on, and we'll test out the design and see if this works any better than the last one did. Alright, and right here we're getting a fire started in that clay pot just to harden it up a little bit. So I'm using some of my homemade charcoal that I made in an earlier video. There will be a link in the description for that. Be sure to go check that out. It worked really nice just to harden up the pot and get that to where it needed to be, to where it was nice and hardened. So then we could start our coal fire and then start some forging. Alrighty then, the pot, not sure if it was clay or not, but at least it did harden up some. Not really around the edges because there wasn't as much heat there for some reason, but it did harden up, so should work pretty good. So now we're going to try to get a coal fire started, and I'll do some video of that going. Alright, so we finished up the forge. Looks really nice. I worked on this little twister poker as I showed you in the intro. Built it real quick with it. It looks really nice. There's a few cracked bricks, but of course there would be, the coal heats up extremely high. So as long as we don't mess with them, they'll last for a while. I have tons more bricks laying around so I can just replace them. The air system worked great. If you have something that blows in between a shop vac and our wimpy hairdryer, that would be the best, because we couldn't get enough air with the hairdryer and we were blowing coal everywhere with the shop vac. So we were able to, I made that pipe where it kind of moves a little bit so you can, that's our ash dump. So we kind of scoot that out, blows a little bit of air out there. We just kind of hold it there with a half on, half off type thing with the shop vac. The perfect amount of air. I would drill the holes a little bit bigger. I'm not quite sure what size drill bit they were, but they were a little bit too small. Coal got in it a little bit too easy. The clay fire pot on the inside, a picture somewhere, is a little bit cracked up, but it's been under extreme heat. I mean, it melts metal very easily. So I'm not sure what my next video will be. If you have any suggestions, please put them in the comments below, and I will try to get them to them as soon as possible. Kind of have a blank slate right now of what I'm going to be doing. Maybe some forging projects in this forge. So if you have anything you want me to do, comment below, and I'll be sure to get to it sooner or later. So just thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.